Hello, it's RG12 here again, friend. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon in South Cumbria, northwest England. We would have said at one time, Sunday's a day of rest, the Lord's Day. Obviously, for many, including my own wife, got to go to work to pay taxes that the government can then waste the majority of. That's where we are. That's with most governments, actually, whatever the colour. This one is particularly atrocious. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having a peaceful time. So what's happening then in this crazy country of mine? Well, our illustrious Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, probably the most unpopular, despised Prime Minister in the history of British politics. He's just doubling down on what he constantly says about his opponents, accusing the Reform Party of being racists, which in effect he's accusing tens of millions of ordinary Britons of being racist. But not a good idea, not a good way of winning support, is it? But even he, arrogant as he is, probably knows he's finished, and that's why even members of his own party are challenging him. As usually, I'm just out with my best mate Rocky again, taking him for a walk. If you can see him, there he is, enjoying himself sniffing, as dogs do. It's as normal, a crazy time in our country continues. Take our illustrious Prime Minister. He continues to just double down on insulting everybody. Basically, he's called Reform racist and toxic, which is the same as calling the vast majority of the British public racist and toxic, because they're way ahead in the polls. So according to him, we're all racist and toxic. And that's why he's going to lose the next election. And that's why even his own MPs know that. And there's a challenge, or they want to try and oust him. But they can swap the top around. It's the same party with the same principles, so it won't make a lot of difference. This morning on national television, Camilla Tominley, journalist, just let Rocky off his lead. There you go, Rocky. There he is. This way. This way. Yeah, Camilla Tominley, journalist on GB News, asked the Housing Secretary a question. The question she asked him was, how many houses have been built since Labour took power? you may be surprised to know that he had not a clue. Not a clue. And he was on the defensive because he was probably rightly so embarrassed. But if you were going on national television to be interviewed by a journalist who gives you the hard questions, to be fair, would you not have done your little bit of homework, considering it's your job, and found out how many houses you've actually made? No, not him. He wouldn't answer it. He was getting defensive, slightly aggressive in his tone, I would have thought. And at the end, because he didn't know, she told him 117,390, which he said, yeah, but somebody wrote that down for you. So in his government, in his department, all earning lots and lots of money, there wasn't anyone that could have even done that for him. And the fact that he couldn't even be bothered showing the arrogance of them. In fact, I was going to say, you could get somebody off the street who could do a better job. You could. It's ridiculous, but that's what we're at. That's what we're at now. Just put Rocky back on his lead. Let's not forget, Starmer eventually had to sack his Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, over her scandal with houses and tax avoidance. Seems to be a pattern there, doesn't there? I'm no fan of the Conservatives. They were a disaster. But I can tell you this, if even one of the scandals that this administration have been involved in had occurred under a Conservative watch, the PM would have rolled. He'd have gone. He'd have been finished. But in the Labour Party, they just continue. They're like Teflon. Doesn't stick. Because they believe what they're saying. We all know the difference. Every day, it seems another scandal. I think he's polling now at 13%. I'm surprised that there's even that amount, 13%. All I can imagine that the people that still think he's doing a good job are obviously people that are lying when they're polled, because they have this cult mentality. They stick to their guns no matter what. Here we are at the Beck again. Let's see if Rocky wants to go and have a drink. What do you think? What do you think, son? Yeah, he's having a drink. Probably quite cold. Good boy. Good lad. Yeah, it's just it's a mentality, isn't it? It's like having your football team that gets beat 20-0 every week, but you still support them and stick up for them. Well, that's what it must be like if you're Labour. Along with everything that's been going on, it's in the British press that they've uncovered another scandal involving our illustrious Prime Minister, to do with tax avoidance. Now, as we know, he's a lawyer, and as they always say, they haven't done anything wrong legally. He avoided paying tens of thousands of pounds inheritance tax in property, his parents' property that he was involved in. Still knows the loopholes, but that's how it is, isn't it? One rule for them. And when you think of the farmers, I haven't got the exact figure, but there's hundreds and hundreds of farms that have gone bust already there is some farmers that have actually committed suicide because of the pressures and stress, and this government seems to have declared war on our farmers. In fact, they seem to have declared war on everybody, don't they? British people, farmers, pensioners, the flag, you name it. They seem to they really don't like Britain, do they, the British government? They seem to love everywhere else. They seem really happy to hand over billions and billions around the world and then plead that there's a black hole that we have to fill, and the way we fill it is we just pay more and more taxes, and that's what's going to happen. Taxes are going to go up again and again. It's going to get to a point where is there any point working? Because the majority, and you wouldn't mind if your taxes went to make the country better. For instance, just where I live, the roads are far worse than a lot of countries that I've been to that would be classed as poor. The potholes situation is dreadful. I've just had to fork out nearly £1,000 for new suspension springs because of constantly going over potholes. It's just ridiculous, and it doesn't need to be like that, because we do have the money if we spend it correctly to provide better roads, better hospitals, more prisons. I've just heard that our intensive care unit at our local hospital's under threat. People might have to drive down to Lancaster, the nearest big city, for treatment, when the area is getting bigger and bigger. More people are moving in. It doesn't make sense. Due to the shipyard, things are expanding. More houses are being built. I've noticed it since I've lived here, and I only live in a small town. The amount of cars now on the road, a lot of houses have 2, 3 and even 4 cars. But yet, it seems that the ICU and things like that are going to suffer when everywhere else seems to be prioritised abroad, especially. Bottomless pits. All we want is fairness. That's all people want. We're not fascists, we're not racists, we're not xenophobes, we're not... Label us all you want. We just want a decent country, a safe country to live in. And that's it. What's wrong with asking for that? The country wants you to wrap yourself in the flag when there's a World Cup on, or England playing football or rugby or whatever sport, and that's it, when they say so. How dare you display patriotism when it's not on their rules and regulations, like digital ID. What's that going to achieve? Nothing, apart from control over us. And to come out with rubbish that is to help with legal migration is just really so weak and insulting, to be honest. If you own a takeaway and you employ illegals to work in your kitchen, pot washers, whatever, which does happen. I've seen raids in my little town, immigration raids. What's a digital ID going to do? You get paid in cash anyway, they're here illegally. It's ridiculous. All these other countries that have it in Europe have a problem. They still have digital IDs. Over 2 million British people, which obviously are fascists, racists, anti-government, dissenters, you name it, rebels, have signed a petition. They don't want digital ID. And a sizable amount of the people that have signed that are socialists. People on the left. I know that we're in this mess because we had an absolutely disastrous conservative government that ruled for over 14 years. Mismanagement, they got blasé, they just took power with a pinch of salt and expected the sheep to just carry on trundling into the polling offices and putting a tick next to the Conservative box to stop Labour getting in. Well, it didn't work, did it? They held the British people in such contempt that people ended up despising them. And what happened? Knee-jerk reaction. Oh, we need to get rid of the Conservatives, the dreadful Conservatives. So they voted Labour, didn't they? A hollow victory for Labour. Lowest amount of votes in history, I think. And now the penny has dropped massively. People realise the ones who did it in all good faith, because I'm sure some people that voted Labour did it because they wanted a better country, and they've been let down. Everybody's been let down. The only people that haven't been let down, well, I was going to say the Labour MPs, but they've been let down because they want to carry on keeping their jobs, and they're not going to, are they? My local MP, all Labour now, aren't they? But if you think about it, where I live, it's a farming community. What has my Labour MP's government done for them? Nothing. Declared war on them. So it's just a matter of time. But it's unfortunate that we've got to wait 3 more years. I don't know what would have to happen. Some people come out and say the King should dissolve Parliament. Well, firstly, I don't think the King would want to dissolve Parliament, no matter how bad it's got, because I believe he is a globalist. If he voted, he would vote Labour. He probably quite likes Keir Starmer. He goes along with it. I swore an allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the last great British monarch, probably, we're going to see. And it breaks my heart to see the state of our country now. And what he doesn't realise, the left, the communists, despise the monarchy anyway. But now he's managed to alienate his own supporters, people like myself that were loyal to the Queen, to this government. He's a bad king. I can only hope William will be better, but who knows? Time will tell. But it's just depressing. Everywhere's depressing at the moment. The sun's out today, which makes it slightly less depressing, but when it gets dark and miserable and cold, and pensioners start becoming frightened of putting their heating on, while MPs in their several houses can have it on full blast, knowing that they're fine, it's just going to get even more depressing. But because we apparently live in a democracy, there's nothing we could do, because the British people voted for this, and that's what they've got. I didn't vote for it because I'm old enough to remember the last time we had a Labour government which destroyed the country and left us bankrupt. And that's probably another way we're going. We could end up going completely bust, like Greece did. The money's going to run out sometime, isn't it? We just can't keep going on like this. But I do have hope. I have hope in the future. I have hope for the British people, and I have hope for Christianity. When we're suffering, we need to fall back. We need a crutch to help us. And more decent, good people are turning back to Christianity because they can see our country changing, going down a bad path. Well, I hope I haven't depressed everybody. Just telling you how it is. We've just got to hope it's going to get better. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, wherever you are and what you're doing. God bless you. If you've found this video for the first time, please try and give it a like. And if you really want to make this whole Veterans Day, please consider subscribing. I know I've got a long way to go. I know it's only a small channel, but I'm going to keep uploading stuff. So please consider it. Obviously, if I'm not your cup of tea, I understand that. And for those small group that do regularly comment, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world. So for now, RG12 out. God bless.